Here we go again. Silver Tsunami. We're actually talking about more of the boomers and the aging out and all that stuff. On top of that, we'll talk about patio appeal. And if you're thinking about selling your house or thinking about putting a patio in, there's a value to that. So let's talk about that too. And then we'll talk about Los Gatos Home of the Week and list price reductions and the highs and lows. Let's get moving. All right. First thing is the Silver Tsunami thing that we're talking about. It goes a lot deeper than housing shortages. It's more because we're living a healthier lifestyle, we're living longer, and it's just a facet that we've known that's been coming. It's not a problem, it's just something that we're dealing with. Live longer, and they're more active in their older ages, and they're economically more inclined, meaning they continue to work if they want to or if they have to, mostly because it's a social gateway, right? It's a way to be social and be present and keep your brain moving instead of retiring, so people continue to work. However, a majority of those people are choosing to retire and move to offshore or different places like Florida, who knows? So we started talking about this in the early 2000s. Now it's coming to a head. And I want to show you a graph in a minute, but our population continues to grow. Our population continues to get older. It means a few things economically. We're not massively growing right now. We're actually shrinking in growth, but people are living longer. And that means a couple different things. There's an economic point to this. There's higher healthcare costs. The body wasn't meant to live to 85 to 100 years old. It's just one of those things. So we see my people in my world, in my sphere that are older, they have dementia or they have heart problems or they have different parts of their body failing. It's just a normal part. So that means higher healthcare costs, right? It also means lower skilled labor. In the old days, the 60s and 70s, everything was done by hands. Everything was done manually and everything was done in a way so that we had a certain skill set, and that skill set is tied up in we have those experiences, and it's hard for us to take that and teach the younger generations all these different things, all these different skill sets. So we are going to lose a little bit more of that. That's part of life, though. That's how things go. There's a lot more aggregate knowledge and wisdom in the older ages, as far as doing work, as far as technology, as far as everything else is concerned. So that kind of will go off on the wayside for the most part, because America and its corporate mindset is we want younger people because we can make them work longer, but not necessarily work better. So also the thing is when you're older now, people tend to stay more active physically, mentally, socially, spiritually. When I go to church, I see a lot more silver hairs like me than I see younger people, but there's still a lot of young kids, young people that go to church. So the opportunities are when you do social things as an older person, you're taking from your retirement, you're taking from your savings, but you're still putting into the economy, which is good. In the old days, we would put you off in a little senior community and off you'd go. That's it. What to expect in the future: slower economic growth. We're not going to see the massive boom that we're seeing today. However, I do believe that there's other technological advances like AI that's coming, and that will sweep and do major things, but only for the few, not for the many. Again, we talked about healthcare spending. The older you get, the more healthcare you need, and that's why our healthcare system costs more, period. It's just part of the problem. Changes in housing. Most senior citizens that I know tend to want to age in place. And that means they're staying in the home that they raise their children in, unless it doesn't work for them anymore. If they have problems getting upstairs, like I'm going to have problems getting up my stairs, I'm going to want a bedroom downstairs and a master bath downstairs or a full bathroom downstairs. Just kind of part of life, right? There's nothing you can do about it. It will end, the Silver Tsunami will end with the boomer generation. Now, 2030, the youngest boomer will be 64. That means the next generation, which is my generation, I think it's Gen X, will be in place to senior out. That doesn't mean that we're going to age out. This Silver Tsunami will not end. See, this is what it looked like in 1960. We had far more children than we had seniors. And now that's exploding out, where you see a huge portion of our population growing to age out. It's just a normal thing, right? It's not a negative thing. It's not anything that we have to deal with. We had 15% of our demographic or our population over 65. In 2048, 25% of our population will be over 65. So it's continuing to grow. We believe that those numbers will continue to grow. People are going to continue to age or grow older as a population. What does that mean for us in the real estate sector? Again, people tend to want to age in place. That's a normal thing. They want to do it unless they have failing health or they just decide that they need to move out. I keep telling my children as soon as they're out of high school and we put them in college, I'm moving to a Caribbean island. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. It's one of those things that I want to live in a place where I can enjoy life a little bit more freely and not have to worry about cost of living, etc. So I don't know where my plans are going to go, but typically what I see and all my friends that are older, they tend to want to stay in place. The way the tax structures are set up, if you sold today and you have over $500,000 in equity in your house, you're going to have to pay capital gains on that. And typically, which is a morbid concept, I tell people to wait until one of the two people in the household pass on, and then your tax basis comes up. That hurts us on the supply side, but it helps them and their estate and their family to live a better life because they don't have to pay that. When you die, your tax basis, when one person in the household dies, the tax basis goes up to the day that person died. So if they bought a house for $20,000 and now it's worth $10 million or $5 million, that tax basis goes up to the $5 million. They can turn around and sell it. Doesn't talk about, that's the federal thing. On the state side, it has to be a primary residence and all this other stuff. Then you can sell it. But there's also capital gains implications that you have to deal with it and talk to your tax advisor about. Okay. And then there's local jurisdictional taxes as well that you have to be concerned with. Let's talk about list price decreases. Now, there are 81 in Santa Clara County, 81 total, but I want to go back to Alexander because Alexander is still on the market. I think this is a fantastic house for people that might be wanting to buy it. Now, it's been on market 28 days. It's already lowered its price to 4.75 from the original 5 million. It's a beautiful house. And the reason why I like this house is because it's walking distance to downtown. Now, if you're looking at moving to Los Gatos, this is a perfect home for people. I know it's a little expensive for people I know, but there's a lot of aggregate wealth in this county. And if the higher end, the higher 50% of this population can't afford it, then they wouldn't be buying $5 million houses. So just keep in mind, if there's something that's out there, this one right here, 4-bedroom, 3 full baths, this is a beautiful house. Everything about it's just immaculate. I don't know if you can hear my dog, but she's snoring. It's sweet. It's a gorgeous house. If you want to learn more about it, let me know. Yeah, so we talked about, Los Gatos house of the week. I know another one in Los Gatos. Now this one is, technically it's walking distance to downtown. It's a little bit more in the hills. It's the 2-bedroom, 1 bath for 858 square feet, and it's a mere $1.5 million house. But look at this. You're basically buying the land. It's 3/4 of an acre about, and that's basically what you get. So septic, probably propane. Yeah, no heating. You're buying this for the land. If it's something that you want to do, if you want to be near Los Gatos, walking distance to Los Gatos, and this is seriously walking distance to Los Gatos, this is a great opportunity for you to take that land, tear this thing down, and put up a nice McMansion. Patio appeal. Now, I know this isn't really on the same subject, but if you're looking at selling your house or thinking about putting a patio in your house, in your backyard, the reason why you do that is not for value, but for enjoyment. Now, I did that a few years back. I put a big pergola on the thing. I have electricity, fans and lights and heaters and a TV. And I go out there when it's nice and warm. When it's blazing hot, I don't go out there, but I do enjoy it. And the reason why I do that is because I like being outside and the dogs like being outside, and you get a little bit of fresh air and you get out of the house and you get a little bit of raise. I do want to warn you that having a backyard that is all concrete is not a good thing. You do want to have green, you want to have grass or ground cover, you want to have a little garden, maybe do some vegetables or what have you, make sure you have some greenery around, because when it's all concrete, it tends to radiate the heat, and that's not good either. And obviously you want to have it close to a door. Mine is close to a door. I don't have it attached to my house. I have it closer to the fence because I wanted to have light coming into my house, just the way I designed it. Maintenance. It's another structure, and yes, you do have to maintain it. I've had to rewire some stuff. I've had to do some I have to do some extra painting on it because over time, just stuff just tends to go away or to deteriorate, right? And when you think about it, it's an addition to your house. It's another living space or another area to congregate or relax or be a part of and enjoy your life in your house. So my pergola, it's almost 25 feet long and about 12 feet wide, and it's a big, huge structure that takes up a majority of the backyard, but we enjoy it. There's a place to eat, there's a place to relax and watch TV, or I go out there and tap on my little laptop and enjoy the outdoors. So having a patio, having a covered patio is a good thing. And I highly suggest you do it if you don't have it. It's just grass or dirt, and having a patio is just another way to invite people to your home and enjoy the outdoors instead of being crowded in a kitchen, unless it's pouring rain. Today's highs and lows. Today's the highest is 5.6 million sold. The lowest was 770, which is nowhere near a record. Highest list price went for almost 40% over list price. Let's take a look at these houses. So this is the lowest price home in Santa Clara that sold this last week. And it's right by the railroad, right by the freeway. It's a 47-year-old home built in 1977, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,190 square feet. But it looks like it's a pretty house. Look at this, nicely done. It's tile floor, or maybe, yeah. So that's laminate on the ground there. So there you go. That's the lowest price house. So affordable-ish. This one is in Milpitas. It's the highest list price to sales price. This one is 61. It's the highest list price to sales price ratio. It started off at 1.2, sold at 1.65, and it sold for 37% over list price. That's crazy. Now, you look at it, and it's a really pretty house. And if you think about it, they're not trying to be a market maker. They sold this thing quickly. They updated it, made it look good. This could be a flip. I haven't really looked into this one, but it's done nicely. When you look inside all the different little pieces, you want to look at the little things that they do. But it looks like they really updated this house, like dual pane windows everywhere. This is a nice house. This is well built. Milpitas, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,064 square feet, and it's 58 years old. Look at the next one. This is the highest sold house, and it's up in the hills, Los Gatos hills, not the mountains. That's cheesy. So you can actually put an ADU here if you want. So this is a nice older house, big. It's nice. This is 8,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 6 full baths, built in 1997. Took 233 days, and that still is not the highest days on market. This one right here was the highest days on market, and let's see why. The last one we did was the lowest list price to sales price ratio as well as the highest price. If you look at it, it started off at 7.5 million and it sold for 76% of the original list price. So they tried to be a market maker. That makes sense, right? You don't know in these types of homes, you don't know what the house is worth until a buyer comes and tells you how much they're willing to pay for it. That's the fact right there, right? It's proof. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet, built in 1978, 288 days on market. This one was probably just a total pain for people to access. I think it was priced just about right. Just sometimes you might have a tenant in there or what have you. I would have listed it probably a little bit lower. All right, the next one is the lowest days on market, sold off market, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 71 square feet. When you sell it off market, you don't necessarily have to do a lot of marketing to it. I don't believe that's a great way to sell a house because you don't know what the entire market's willing to pay. So I don't think this is a good idea when you sell your house and you put it on coming soon and then you take the first offer that comes in. You don't know because you don't know, period. You can't compare it to other offers that are out there and you can't negotiate it up. So I don't believe that this is a good strategy. And again, this is the same one. It's not a single family house. This is a hotel. And I don't know why they still have this up for sale. And then this is the lowest list price active home for sale. It's San Jose, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 700 square feet, and it's $535,000. Been on market 33 days. Built in 1960. I have no idea why anybody would have a 1 bedroom house. It's virtually staged. My thoughts are that the little side building, this is a hovel. That's probably not even legal. And there's 1 bedroom right there. So if you want to live downtown and be in an affordable house, there you go. All right, today we talked about the Silver Tsunami. All right, today we talked about the Silver Tsunami and what the aging population means economically.